Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Casa de Neil, where I'm about to fight a Kill Team 2021 mission between my Space Marine Scouts and Jason's Death Guard. So the story that we've got going on here is that this force of scouts was sent into this sector to try to figure out what was going to try to establish a beachhead for the rest of the Space Marine strike force to arrive into here. And when they arrived here, they found a plague marine force that was making its way relentlessly forward through this sector, and they decided to try to hold their ground and establish the beachhead for the rest of the force. We are going to be doing the Seize Ground mission. So essentially there are 6 objectives here all along the middle. During this mission, if you control an objective at the end of any turning point, it's considered to be you've secured that objective, and you control it until your opponent comes and gets it later. So we can move off. There may be no one within range of it, but they will hold it for later. The mission objectives here is you score a VP at the end of each turning point. You score a VP if you control 2 or more objectives. You score a VP if you control more objectives than your opponent. You score a VP if you control any objectives in your opponent's half of the table, and you score a VP if you control 2 or more objectives in your opponent's half of the table. And that happens to a maximum of 4 points for each turning point for there. We've also chosen our 3 tactical objectives each, tac ops each, to possibly score with them, and that is how you score. Each of these is maximum 2 points for each of the tac ops, so you can get a maximum of, what is that, 12 plus 6, 18 points maximum over the course of the game. So that is going to be the story. That's going to be the mission. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the 2 kill teams that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Space Marines kill team, I will have a Scout Fire team. This will include a Scout Sniper leader, 3 Scout Snipers, a Heavy Gunner with a Heavy Bolter, and 5 regular Scouts with Bolters. And then for the Death Guard kill team, it will consist of 2 fire teams of Plague Marines. We have a Plague Marine Champion, we have a Plague Marine Fighter, an Icon Bearer, a Heavy Gunner, and a regular Warrior. All right, so those are the kill teams going over deployment. I've got a Scout over on this side. I've got my Scout Gunner with the Heavy Gunner with the Heavy Bolter up on top over here. I've got a Scout Sniper. I've got my Scout Sniper Sergeant. I've got Jenkins over here. It's been a while since we've seen him on the table, since he got moved to Elites. We then have a regular Scout over here, Scout Sniper over here, and then 2 more Scouts over on this side. My opponent has deployed everything in the middle here. So he's got his Champion, he's got his Fighter, he's got his Heavy Gunner, he's got the Icon Bearer, and then he has a regular Dude Bro over on this side. So that is deployment. We will now do the scouting phase. So the way that works now is it's not only do you get to do actions, it also determines your initiative for the first turn. So you have 3 options. You have Fortify, which allows you to place a 3rd barricade. You have Infiltrate, which will allow you to change one of the activation tokens on your guys when you activate them the first round, because when you deploy them, you have to put a deployment activation token on them. And then the 3rd one is Recon, which will allow you to perform a dash action during the scouting phase here, but determined with a rock paper scissors method, where Fortify beats out Infiltrate, Infiltrate beats out Recon, and Recon beats out Fortify. It determines who goes first. And if you both choose the same thing, then whoever's the attacker will get to choose. So we are now going to reveal our choices here and place. My opponent chose 1, I chose 3. So I will have initiative going into turn 1, and we will do our things. All right, so on to the strategy step of the first turning point. We gained a CP, putting us at 3 each because we both have leaders on the in the game here. We then have then we do the strategic ploys. My opponent has spent 1 CP on malicious volleys, allowing him to shoot twice with bolt weapons. Basically you can do 2 of your actions can be shoot actions, as long as they're both with bolt weapons. I have chosen not to do any of my strategic ploys this first turn. And then we go into the reveal tac op stage, and neither of us shows any of our tac ops this first turn here. So we will now come back to you with the firefight step. All right, so my first activation will be my gunner up here. He is going to shoot over here with his thing into his fighter over here. So his fighter does have the conceal token, and he's getting cover, which would normally make him not an opportunity for me to shoot. But because I'm up on a vantage point over here above him, I can actually shoot into him. So I'm going to shoot with a heavy bolter. It does have fusillade, so technically I could spread the love around these other guys, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to shoot into his fighter over there. So that's going to be 5 attacks here, hitting on 3s. Alrighty. That is going to be 1, 2, 3 hits, including a critical there. You can now roll your defense dice. You can take one of them as a free one because you are in cover over here. So you do take one, and then you have your 2 dice here. Oh no, I do have a crit, so it's going to be P1. So you will be at 2 dice for your defense for this guy here. So, 1 second. All right, so my opponent's going to spend 1 CP on revolting durability, and essentially what this says is you can during the resolve hits or resolve
resolve successful hits or resolve successful save step.
Okay, resolve the successful hits or resolve successful saves step of any attack against him against a bubonic Astartes model. You can spend 1 CP, and you can turn one of your opponent's critical hits into a regular one. So my opponent's going to spend the 1 CP, turn this into a regular hit, which now means that the P1 that I have on the gun there, I don't retain any critical hits. So it says P1 is if you retain any critical hits, it reduces their defense by, it turns it into AP1. So it would reduce their defense by 1. But now, because I haven't retained any critical hits, he's back up to his full defense. So he's going to use 1 for cover and hold on to that, and then he's going to have 2 looking for 3s. Getting 1 crit, so he'll have be able to have 1 there. So that's still going to ignore 1 of them, and then ignore 1 of mine here. So that's going to do
defensive crits.
Yeah, so 1 will go through here for 3 damage. It's actually 4 damage, and now my opponent has disgustingly resilient. They ignore on 5 pluses. So you'll ignore 1 of them and take 3 damage. And for 3 equipment points, I had given him Suspensor Field, so it allows him to move even though he shot, or shoot even though he moved with the heavy weapon that he has. So then he just moved down over to here. All right, so now his icon bearer is going to activate. He's going to move up to here, and he's going to spend an AP on his icon, which gives everyone within square of him the ability to reroll 1s and 2s on their disgusting resilient roll, which is really awesome. And then he's also going to spend an AP on Plague Bell, which is a piece of equipment that he was given, giving everyone within red of him +1 circle to their movement. So that's going to be this 3 APL, and he's activated. All right, so my sergeant here is now going to fire with his sniper rifle into his icon bearer. He does have the conceal token, which would normally prevent me from shooting, but his sniper rifle has the silent special rule, which allows him to shoot even though he has the conceal token. So he's going to fire. It also has balanced for his, which means that he can re-roll a hit. It also has heavy, so if he had moved, he wouldn't have been able to shoot it. So he's going to have 4 shots here, looking for 2s. I can re-roll 1 of these for being balanced. All right, so that's going to be 2 critical hits and 2 regular hits here. No AP on these. All right, so my opponent did 3 regular on here. So what you can do is I would probably do 2 on a crit and then do 1 regular one. So the damage on the crits is 3 damage, which is the same as a regular hit, but it also does a mortal wound on top of it. So it would be 4 wounds. that would go through to you for the crits. So I think that's the best way, because you have 3 dice that are successes, and you can do 2 to take out a crit, or you would only be able to take out the 2 regular, and then this would not do anything.
Taking out the 2 regardless is going to be 3, 6, but plus 1 for the moral.
So it's going to be 7 total wounds that are going to go through over here. So now you have Disgustingly Resilient on 5 pluses, re-rolling the 1s and 2s because of your icon, right?
Yep.
So re-roll that 2. All right, so that's 2 that are ignored. He takes 5 damage. All right, so now his regular guy over here is going to climb up onto this vantage point with 1 AP for his movement, and then he is going to shoot into my sniper down over there. So he's going to have 4 shots here. These are going to be he's got hitting on 3s. The reason he can shoot him is because he got up onto that vantage point. So crits would technically ignore these things. Oh, 1 second. All right, so that's going to be 4 hits into my guy over there, or 4 successful rolls of his attacks. Because he has a camo cloak and he's in cover, I can actually retain 2 of these as successful instead of just the 1 for being in cover. And then I roll 1 here looking for a 4+. I do get that, so it's going to ignore 3 of them. So I take 1 damage. What's it, 3 damage, I think, for the regular bolter? I think so. And then he's going to shoot again because he spent the CP on Malicious Volley, so his 3rd AP will be a shooting attack back into him. So that's going to be 2 hits, including a crit. So I've got 3 dice here. I'm going to retain... Oh, man. Yeah, I'm going to retain both of these as successful ones, because then I'm just fishing for 1 successful save on a 4+, and I can ignore that crit there. So, looking for a 4+. I do not get it, so I'll just ignore the crit 1 and take the regular damage of 3 damage. All right, and my the sniper who's hurt there is now going to fire his sniper rifle into the bell guy. Again, it is concealed, so he can, but it is silent weapon, so he can shoot it. But it is heavy, so he hasn't moved and can't move after he shoots it. But his does not have balance, but that's fine. So he's got 4 shots here. Would be looking for 2s to hit, but 3s to hit because he is wounded at this point. Okay, so that's going to be a crit and 2 regular hits. So that is, yeah, that's a crit and 2 regular hits. So now you've got your 3 dice here, looking for 3s to save, making 2. So I would cancel. No, I think canceling out the regular ones is probably the best bet there, because that's going to be
damage over 4 damage.
Yeah, 6 damage over 4. So you cancel these, so you take the crit. So that's going to do 4 damage to him. Disgustingly Resilient. Reroll that 1. No, he takes 4 damage. All right, so now his heavy gunner over here moved up to this point here, and he is now going to fire his weapon into my heavy gunner over there. So he's got 4 shots here, looking for 3s to hit. Okay, getting 2 hits, including a crit. I will now roll my defense. I'm going to take the 1 success on the 4+ because of cover. Oh, it's AP -1. Yeah. So, oh man, that is tough. I'm still going to take that, and then AP -1, so I get 1 more dice roll here, looking for a 4+. No, don't get it, so I'm going to ignore that, so I'll just take the critical damage.
6.
The 6 damage killer. My activation, this guy over here is going to move and dash onto the objective. His Plague Marine over here is going, the fighter is going to move and advance, or move and dash onto the objective over here. This guy is going to move and dash onto the objective here. His champion is going to move and dash onto the objective over there. My sniper back here is going to fire into his bell guy. Really don't like all that re-rolling, feel no pains over here. So he's going to have 4 shots here. Hitting on 2s.
Hasn't been doing me much good.
Oh man, that's going to be 2 regular hits. I'm gonna spend a CP to re-roll one of those. Into a crit, so I got a crit and 2 regular hits here. Now you have your dice saves here, looking for 3-ups. Making 2 instead of 1. How many wounds does he have left? He has 3. So
I just gotta hope to.
Yep. So then you have 4 wounds over here. 1 mortal wound plus 3 regular wounds. Looking for 5-ups. Making 2 of them. No reroll there. Down to 1 wound left. All right, so now my opponent has activated all of his guys, so now he has access to another activation action, which is called Overwatch. It costs 0 APL. Each model in your team can only do it once, and what happens is, what you do it is you do it It's a shooting action that you can take after you've already activated everyone, and it allows you to shoot but with a -1 penalty. So he is going to fire his bolters into my hurt sniper over there. So he's going to have 4 shots here, hitting on 4s. Because it's Overwatch, getting 1 crit, and I'm just going to take the 2 successful saves from his camo cloak to ignore that one there. My guy back here is just going to pass. Now his Blight Launcher guy is going to Overwatch, shooting into my Heavy Bolter guy. So he's going to have 4 shots here, hitting on 4s. So that's going to be 3 hits. I'm going to retain 1 because of cover.
And -1.
And that's AP -1, so I'm going to take 1 more, looking for 4 up. That is going to be good, but what's the damage on this? 1 regular, not AP?
4.
4. So he is actually incapacitated anyway. This guy over here moved and dashed. My sniper guy over there is going to pass. And now Jenkins is going to bravely move up here onto the objective and then fire into his bellboy over here. He's going to have 4 shots hitting on 3s. Alrighty, Jenkins. 2 hits there. He's got 3 saves here to make. No, fails them all. That's going to be 6 damage. You've got disgustingly resilient still. Oh, he makes 3 of them, re-rolling 1s and 2s.
Yeah,
but the 3 is going to go through over there and kill him and take him out of action. All right, so that's going to be the end of the turning point here. At the end of the turning point, my opponent controls 1, 2 objectives, which means that he scores 1 point for controlling 2 objectives. I control 1, 2, 3 objectives, which gets me 1 point for controlling 2 objectives, 1 point for controlling more objectives than my opponent, and 1 point for controlling an objective on my opponent's side of the table there. So putting the score to 3-1 for the Space Marines right now. Neither of us has scored any of our TAC ops, and that's the way we've got going on there. So we will now roll to see who has initiative going into turning point number 2. Opponent rolled a 1. I rolled a 1, so it's I started?
You started.
I started, so it will go to my opponent having the initiative there, because if it's a tie, it goes to whoever had initiative previously. All right, so in the strategy phase, we gain a CP each. My opponent spends 1 CP on malicious volleys again, allowing him to shoot twice with bolt weapons. And then we reveal target step. I'm going to show none. My opponent is going to show 2 of his. He has hold the line and damage limitation. Damage limitation is reveal this target reveal step of any turning point. At the end of any turning point, if no friendly operatives were incapacitated during the turning point, you score 1 VP. If you achieve the first condition at the end of any subsequent turning points, you score 1 VP. Hold the line says that you can reveal this TAC op in the target reveal step of any turning point. At the end of any turning point, if there are no enemy operatives within Pentagon of your drop zone, you score 1 VP. If you achieve the first condition at the end of any subsequent turning points, you score 1 VP. Then into the firefight step, my opponent's going to activate his guy first here, who is going to dash into the base over here, step up, or climb up onto the top over here, and then he's going to shoot. Who are you going to shoot into? The far guy over there. So that's going to be 4 shots, looking for 3s to hit. That's going to be all but 1 hit there. No crits. I now have 3 4-up saves to try to make here. And I make them all. Woo! Oh, it was AP -1, so actually I only could have rolled the 2 dice there, meaning I successfully avoided 2 of the shots, but I did get shot in the face for 1 for 4. And my guy moved and dashed over here into cover. All right, so his guy over here is now going to shoot, moved, and then is going to shoot into my sniper over here. So he's going to have 4 shots hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits. And I'm just going to take them both to ignore that. And then he's going to, because of malicious volleys, he's going to shoot again. Hitting on 3s, so that's going to be 3 hits. I am going to take 2 successes because of cover, and then looking for 1 4-up. No, I'm going to spend a CP to re-roll that. Into a 5, he's good. Woo! My guy's going to move in advance over to this point. All right, Jenkins is going to back up over there, and then he's going to shoot into, into this guy over here, because he does have concealed, but he's got a direct line of sight to him over there. So it's going to be 4 shots, looking for 3s to hit. That's going to be 1 crit and 2 regular hits into him. My opponent has 3 3-up saves, making 1 of them. So he's going to take 4, 5, 6, 7 damage.
He's dead.
No, he's got 9 left. The other guy
9?
was 7, yeah.
Oh.
Well, you have a disgustingly resilient still. So he's got 7 damage. So now you're looking for 5s and 6s. No rerolls because the bell guy is dead. You do ignore 3 of them, so that's not bad. So he takes 4 damage. All right, so then his champion moved up here, moved, dashed, and is now going to fire his plasma pistol into Jenkins. So he's going to supercharge it. So he's got 4 attacks here. Looking for 2s to hit. Does he have this the champion?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2s to hit for the champion here. So that's going to be all hits. No matter what I do, Jenkins is going to take 9 damage or more than that. I think it's like 15 damage, right?
5 damage.
5 each. So he's going to take at the least 15 damage to the face, so he is going to be dead. Jenkins, no! All right, so my wounded guy over here is going to fire into his champion. So I'm going to have 4 attacks here, hitting on 3s because he's wounded. So that's going to be 2 with a crit, or 3 with a crit. He just gets 2 regular. So I imagine taking the 2 regular ones is definitely the best call. Yeah. Oh no, because you have 3. So no, taking the crit and then the regular. So then he's just going to take 3 damage over here. Disgusting and resilient. Ignores 1 of them, so he takes 2 damage. All right, so my guy back over here is now going to activate. When he does, what I should have done last time is what I meant to do. I'm going to mark my target with him. So he is going to reveal this tac op when a friendly operative performs a shoot action. When an enemy leader operative is selected as the target of a shooting attack for a shoot action, no other shooting attacks are made for that action, you can attempt to mark the operative instead. Complete the shooting sequence as normal, except that if any damage would be inflicted on that enemy operative, it does not lose any wounds, and you score 1 VP. So, he's going to have 4 attack shots here, hitting on 2s. That is going to be 3 hits here. My opponent now has 3 3-ups. No, fails 1 of them, so he's just going to be marked, doesn't take any damage. And now his gunner up here is going to fire into my sergeant with an Overwatch shot here. 4 shots looking for 4s. Getting 2 regular hits there. My camo cloak will allow me just to take
AP -1.
AP -1, but I still have 3 saves. So I'm going to select the 2 to ignore them. So now my sergeant's going to activate and shoot into his leader. Going to have 4 shots here, hitting on 2s. I do get to reroll. Wow, that is real good there. That's going to be all 4 hits, 3 of which are crits. So you have your 3 3-up saves. Making 1 of them crit and then 1 regular one. So you take the crit and the regular one away. So that's going to be 8 damage into you over here. You have disgustingly resilient though. So looking for 5s and 6s. Making 2 of them, so he still takes 6 damage. And now his guy over here is going to fire Overwatch into my hurt sniper. Looking for 4s. Ooh, that's good. That's going to be a crit and 2 regulars. I'm going to... Oh, no, I'm just going to roll them. I think I'm just going to roll them. Yeah, I'm just going to roll them looking for... No, you know what? I'm going to take 2 regular saves here. So that's going to be 2 because of cover, and then I'm going to roll 1. No, with that 3, it does not. So I am going to... These are what? 3 and 5 damage, right? 3 and 5 damage. Yeah, so if I cancel out...
3 and
3. It doesn't matter. He's dead anyway, so boom, boom. And then my guy over here is going to activate, shoot into his sergeant, into his champion, sorry. So he's going to have 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. Getting 1 crit and 2 regular hits. Nothing on that one. So now you need 3-up saves. Making a crit and 2 saves. He's good to go. And then my guy over here is going to fire into his guy there. He moved and then is going to fire. So looking for 4 shots, looking for 3s to hit. Getting 3 regular hits here. 3 3-ups. Failing 1 of them. So that's going to be 3 damage into him over there. Disgustingly resilient. Ignores 1, so he takes 2 damage. And then my guy is going to move up over here, ending the turning point. All right, so that's the end of the turning point. At the end here, my opponent now controls 4 objectives. And he controls 2, so he scores a point for that. He controls more than I control, because I only control 2 objectives. So he scores a point for that. He controls an objective on my half, scores a point for that. And he controls 2 objectives on my half, scoring him another point. So my opponent scores 4 points for that. He also scored a point for damage limitation, because none of his guys were knocked out of action. It was close, but he wasn't knocked out of action. And then... and I scored just 2 points, one for holding 2 objectives and one for holding 1 in his side. So it actually worked out with all of that. Leaves us with 6-6 right now at the end of Turning Point 2. So we will now roll off to see who will have initiative going into Turning Point 3. It's going to be Death Guard turn initiative, so we'll come back to you with a strategy step. All right, so now into the strategy phase of this. We both gained a CP, and my opponent spent a CP on malicious volley. No, malicious volley. So allowed him to shoot the bolter twice, and then we revealed tactical reveal. I do have one to reveal. Nope, not that one. It's this one. Triangulate. You can reveal this tac op at the target reveal step of any turning point. If 2 kill zone edges are triangulated by friendly operatives, you score 1 VP. If 3 kill zone edges are triangulated by friendly operatives, you score an additional VP. Friendly operatives can perform the following action. Triangulate. An operative can perform this action while within a square of a kill zone edge that is not your own kill zone edge and has not been triangulated by friendly operatives. An operative cannot perform this action while within a circle of enemy operatives. If this action is performed by a friendly operative, that kill zone edge has been triangulated by friendly operatives. So that's what I've got going on there. So we will come back to you with the Firefight phase. To start off, his champion here is now going to fire into my dude bro over here. So he's going to activate. He's going to fire into my dude bro over here with his plasma pistol. Are you going to supercharge?
Yeah.
He is going to supercharge here. So he's got 4 shots hitting on 2s. All right, so he's going to take 3 mortal wounds, but he gets 3 hits with them. But it's AP -2, so that's just going to go straight through and kill my guy. But you do take 3 mortal wounds, but you do have Disgustingly Resilient. Looking for 5 ups. No! He doesn't get any of them. So he actually dies as well. And my opponent now has to reveal Plant Banner because he secretly chose his champion to be carrying the banner. And when he was taken out of action, he dropped the banner. So he can now try to pick it up to bring it within. The banner token is within Pentagon of my drop zone, but not wholly within the drop zone, he scores 1 VP. But if it was in the drop zone, he would score 1 VP. I can do an action to try to destroy it if I want to later on in this game. So we're going to see how that goes out. But that's where that is right now, back over there where he dropped it down. My guy back over here is going to move back over here and do triangulate. All right, my opponent is going to move, dash, and pick up with his guy over there. So now my sergeant's going to shoot into him over here. So he's got 4 shots hitting on 2s. Rerolling 1 because it is balanced. Okay, not meant to be. So that's going to be 3 regular hits into him. He's got 3 3-up saves. Makes them all. The guy with the Blight Launcher is now going to fire into my sniper in the back over there. He's going to have 4 shots hitting on 3s. That is going to be 2 hits, and because, but he's -1 AP, but he's got 3 defense dice. He's in cover with a camo cloak. He's going to ignore both of those. All right, so then he is going to fire into his guy over here. So that's going to be 4 shots here, hitting on 2s. Don't get to re-roll any of these, but that's still going to be 4 hits into him. You've got 3-up saves, failing 2 of them. So that's going to be. Ignores 1 of these, so that's going to be 9 damage into him over here.
Jesus.
So now you have 5s and 6s to ignore. You ignore.
Not enough.
Not enough. So he takes 5 damage. Oh, that's just enough to kill him. All right, so now his guy over here is going to fire into my sergeant. He is going to looking for 3s. That is going to be 2 hits there. I'm just going to ignore those with my camo cloak. And then because of malicious volleys, he can shoot a 2nd time here. So we're just going to go straight into that. That is going to be 2 crits. I cannot ignore. I'm going to take the 2 basic successes that I can for that to try to ignore 1 of them. And then I'm going to roll looking for a fill face. No, don't get the fill face. So I will take 5 damage because he has virulent rounds, giving +1 damage to crit damage there. So he takes 5 damage. So my operative over here did triangulate along this board edge and then moved up over to there. Now his guy with the Blight Launcher is going to fire into my Sergeant. He is with Overwatch, so looking for 4s to hit. Getting 1 crit and 1 regular. So that is going to be looking for 3 dice here, looking for 4s. I'm going to take the 2. I'm going to take the 2 regular successes I can there. Is that worth it? 1 second. All right, yeah. So I'm looking for a 4 now instead of fishing for a 6. I think this is the right way to go.
It is AP
he does. Oh, it is AP -1. So no, it doesn't make a difference. Making me think over here. Oh man, you gave me hope and then you took it away. Because even if I take away the crit, it still does 4 damage to kill him. And then my sniper over here is going to fire into his guy up over here. So that's going to be 4 shots, looking for 2s to hit. That's going to be 3 hits, including a crit. So we got a crit and 2 regular hits. Crit and 2 regular saves, so good to go. Then his bolter guy is going to Overwatch, fire it into my lone sniper back over there. Going to get 1 crit hit. So I'm just going to take his 2 cloak automatic saves to ignore that crit. And then my guy over here is going to move to here and triangulate. And that will end this turning point. All right, so that was the end of the turning point here. My opponent still controls these 4 objectives because he held them at the end of the turning point last time, and they're still held until I take them back. So that will give him 4 points additional, bringing him to 10 points total. I scored 2 points for holding those 2 and 1 in his table quarter there, on table side over there, bringing me to 8. But then I scored 2 points for triangulate since I did it on all 3 table edges, bringing me with additional 2 points, tying it at 10 points apiece here at the end of turning point 3. So now we will roll off to see who will have initiative going into the final turning point. Oh, it's going to be Death Guard again. Pretty brutal there. So we'll come back to you with the strategy phase. All right, so into the strategy phase, we each gain a CP. My opponent is spending 1 CP again on malicious volleys, as he's been doing to much success so far, and I'm not going to spend anything on mine. And then we are going to move into the revealed tactical tac ops, and neither of us has anything to reveal. So that is going to be it for the strategy phase. We'll come back to you with the firefight phase. All right, so now my opponent is going to activate this guy over here in the firefight phase, firing into my guy over here. So he's 4 shots hitting on 3s. That's going to be all hits. I've got, it's minus AP -1. So I've got 2 dice. I can't prevent that from doing 4 damage to him. So he's just going to be, yeah, there's nothing I could do even if I have the 2 dice to do. Even if I had 2 crits, there's nothing I could do there. When he would be taken out of action there, I am going to spend 1 CP on only in death does duty end. What that does now in this new edition is he is not removed, and he is not considered injured until the end of my next activation, at which point he will then be removed. So he doesn't stick around forever like he used to in the previous edition, which was why death only in death does duty end was, or like death denied was always really good. This will allow him to do his activation before he dies. All right, so then he is going to activate, and he is going to plant the signal beacon. Essentially, it's one of my tac ops. Essentially, what happens is for 2 AP, I plant the signal beacon. It has to be placed within triangle of me, and the operative cannot take this action if I'm within circle of enemies. If the enemy ever ends up within triangle of it and more than circle from any of my guys, it would go away. But at the end of the battle, if it's token is within pentagon of the opponent's drop zone, I score 2 VP. So I don't think he's going to be able, he can't get over there physically, can't get over to it. So I will be getting those 2 VP. But then he, only in death does duty end, he sacrificed himself with his last dying death with wish to put down that beacon. Good job. All right, this guy over here is now going to shoot into my dude bro over this side, hitting on 3s. That is going to be a crit and 2 regulars. I've got 3 dice here. I'm going to take 1. Yeah, I'll take 1 regular. There we go for my cover there. And then I'm fishing for 6s basically. Fill face? No, nothing there. So he's going to take 5 and 3. So 8 damage. That's at 8 damage. That's exactly enough to take him out. And now his guy over here is going to fire with his 2nd APL into my sniper over there. So that is going to be going to do a lot of attacks into there. Wow, that is crazy town. No APL, but I do have the 2 regulars. I'm going to take the 2 regulars. that I can over there, and then looking for a fill face is what I'm really looking for here. No, I don't get it. So he's even if I do that, that's gonna be 5.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, he did. Wow. My guy over here is going to move and dash up onto the objective over here, taking it back from my opponent. And now my opponent is going to Overwatch with him into my scout sniper over there. This guy cannot draw a line of sight over the obscuring terrain here because we did all the big ones were going to be heavy. So you cannot draw a line of sight to him through the obscuring because the point at which it starts to go across here is at the front here. So he's more than a circle away from it over here. But this guy can because it does go over it, but it's within circle over there. So it becomes cover that he'll have over here. So he's got 4 shots here, hitting on 4s. No, that's going to be 2 hits, and because I'm in cover, I will take the 2 regular saves on him and keep him alive. And then my last activation over here for this guy, shooting into his dude bro up over here. I've got 4 shots here, hitting on 3s. So that's going to be a crit and 3 regular hits, so he's got 3 up armor saves, making 2 of them. Which will take these 2 away, doing, what is that, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage to him. And then my opponent has Disgustingly Resilient. Ignoring, wow, okay, just takes 2 damage down to 10. But yeah, that's going to be brutal. All right, so that's the end of the 4th and final turning point. At the end of this turning point, I scored 2 points for Plant Signal Beacon over there. My opponent scored a point for damage, what is it?
It was damage limitation.
Damage limitation because I didn't take anyone out in here, so he scored his 2nd point for that. He also scored a point for hold the line since he managed to kill both of these guys that were back over here that could have kept him from getting that. Gets the point for that, and then he also scored
1 for Plant the Banner.
1 for Plant the Banner, because this one is within red of my deployment zone, and I wasn't able to take it because scouts only have 2 APL, so my move and dash onto that objective left me with not enough APL to try to take away that banner, that banner that he had there. So that meant that he scored 3 points for those. And at the end of the turn for objectives, I controlled 3 objectives, one of which was in my opponent's deployment zone, getting me 2 points for that. My opponent controlled 3 objectives, including 1 in my deployment half, scoring him 2 points for that. At the end of all of those points being added up, I had 14 points. My opponent had 15 points. Oh, it was such a close game. So good. It really felt amazing just to play it out. It felt really balanced. There was points when it felt like it shifted. There was points when it went like where it felt really good for me, and there was points that it felt really good for him. And I think that makes for a good game. And at the end, being by 1 point, literally 1 point. Oh, if Scouts had APL 3, I would have been able to take that away, and we would have had a tie game. If he was able to kill him off of there, he would have had the win. There's like so many different ways. By me managing to get up there and take that away, I kept 2 points from going to him. It was so good. It was really, really such a good and close game. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Jason, and until next time, stay safe and have fun.